Thank you for joining, everyone. So this is the Oracle Autonomous AI Database Learning Lounge, and you see we have a new name and a new logo over here. I'm Marcus, and I see you're part of the product management team for Autonomous Database. And today we're going to have a very cool session. We're going to be actually talking all about AI world, right? So we're going to talk and learn about the new AI Lakehouse announced at AI World, and we're going to be talking about several of the sessions that we had there. We did a lot of different hands-on labs as well, so that was very, very interesting. We also will then move to talking about the new Autonomous Database Catalog, part of the Lakehouse, and Michelle is going to talk also about the Data Lake Accelerator, right? So at the end, if we have enough time, I'm going to be talking briefly about the Select AI agents. There are lots of great things there. And throughout the session, we're going to have product managers answering any questions you might have, okay? So before we begin, any questions you guys have, make sure to type them in the Q&A in Zoom, okay? So while any questions, we're going to be able to look at it. We have product managers looking at all those questions, and they're going to be answering those things for you, okay? Now, in relation to links, right? We got a lot of links in terms of the Autonomous Database. You're going to see the new name coming in. It's loading on certain parts, right, of the blogs that we have, right, of all the different components. On the website is already, the new name is already used. So the links I'm sharing with you guys in chat, okay? And then you can take a look at these links there, all right? Now, we can also receive questions from you guys in our external Slack workspace, right? So Oracle Developer has an external Slack workspace where you can just freely join and just ask us questions right there, just looking for the channel Oracle-Autonomous-Database, all right? So before we begin today, right, just wanted to talk about our content there. So as you can see, we had packed sessions. At some point, one of these sessions, we had over 1,000 people saying they wanted to go and see them. We had limited seating because it's a hands-on lab, right? So what we're going to do is at these AI database learning lounges, we are going to actually run some of these hands-on labs for you guys, okay? And then we're going to do a demonstration using the Livelab, perhaps, and then you guys can do it on your own time. But it was very exciting to have all of our sessions packed and everyone there having a lot of fun learning. So I wanted to then bring it to Keith Laker. So Keith is going to share with you guys everything that was presented and done at Cloud World that was related to Autonomous Database, right, Keith? So thank you very much for joining, Keith, and take it away. Just start sharing your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcos. Okay, hopefully everyone can see the screen. We've got our other members of our Autonomous PM team on our demo booth there. I'm going to give you links to presentations, workshop notes, links to Livelabs, run you through some of the content we pushed out. Obviously, Marcos will share this with you. If you're not already signed up to our newsletter on LinkedIn, during the event, I was posting out, go to this session, make sure you don't miss this session, go and talk to the PM team. I've already posted some of the content that I'm going to cover today. So if you want to quickly head over and get a jump start on everything, a lot of the content that we're going to cover, that I'm going to cover in this quick little bit, is actually up there right now. There's the bit.ly link to get you started and away. A lot of the links that you'll get from Marcos and the sessions I'm going to get you into, you'll need to go and get a free pass. So if you go to the AI World site, you'll get a free pass that will get you into the content catalog, and then you'll see the links to download the presentations and stuff. Now, a little word of warning here. When you get your free pass, it will ask you if you've already got an account to sign in, and it will allow you to move on. It may also try and get you to pay for an AI World Pass at the same time. Don't panic. As long as you've got an account and you can log in, you can go straight to this URL. If you need to create an account, use your work or email address. And then again, it's gonna, once it's created the account, the next stage that you land on is the option to then pick how much we're going to bill you to get this pass. It's free, so don't worry about the billing part. It's created the account, close that browser window, go back to this link, and you'll be able to get in and see the content. So we are giving you a free pass, but it doesn't look like you actually do get a free pass, but you will, don't worry. The keynotes, a lot of the keynotes are up on YouTube already. So if you haven't seen Larry's keynote or Juan Loaiza's keynote with TK and Ann, those are up on YouTube already. They're great sessions, definitely worth spending some time going through both of those because they all kind of feed into Chetin's keynote where Chetin launches the AI Lakehouse. Now this session and the content that's coming is inside the catalog. So you've got to get into the AI World catalog. All of the content that we've got is going to go live anyway in a couple of weeks. I think it's mid-November. It's all going to get opened up and you'll be able to get onto it. But if you want to get onto it today, then follow that free pass link and then you can run Chetin's keynote live inside the content catalog. So that's the link. If you've already got an account, you can pop in there today, take that link, sign in, and you'll be able to watch the keynote or create the account. So there were lots and lots of sessions. I think in the content catalog, there were 60 to 70 sessions for Autonomous Database. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of great content. Michelle and Marcos are going to take you through the highlights of the really important parts that we went through. There's lots of sessions. There were lots of hands-on labs. The hands-on labs were oversubscribed. But once you get into the content catalog, you'll be able to download the corresponding workshop notes. And for a lot of these, there's the pointer to get into the session for Livelabs, that workshop running on Livelabs. So you can do the workshops today from your own desk. Just get into the content catalog with these links that I've got in here, and you should be okay. So there's all sorts of aspects here. Autonomous database, data engineer, with Alexi and Jayant, you probably all know. If you want to be more developer focused, there was a great one on, I think Beda did one on JSON duality. So lots and lots of different topics all around autonomous database or autonomous AI database. I put it all together. If you want to get there right now and start going through all the sessions that were there, all the workshops, the hands-on labs, etc. If you go to this link, there's like a public little web page that I put together that has links to all the keynotes and everything. So you can kind of get started on that straight away. So hopefully you won't do that right now, because coming up now, I'm going to hand back to Marcos and we'll start getting into the content. So I shall hand back to you, Marcos.
Thank you very much, Keith. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so right before I give you guys, and I pass the ball to Michelle, just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the information. And because we are going to be talking, at moments, right, about futures, perhaps I should show this couple slides as well. And then Michelle is going to be talking to you guys about the Lakehouse. But right before there, one of the announcements we had was the introduction of the new Oracle AI database 26 AI, right? That's the next generation of the Oracle database itself. And you're going to see it's a seamless transition from 23 AI. So I'm sharing with you guys in the chat a link to the press release. Again, I don't want to take too much time here. The idea was just to show you a few of the things. This is the new long-term support release that replaces the 23 AI. And it is immediately available for you guys running on Autonomous Database. That's one of the key things here, right? So when you see things and people talking about the amount of AI capabilities, right, that the 26 AI brings in, then you have to understand that all of these things are available to you in Autonomous right now. Okay. So that was it on the database release itself. And I'd like to then stop sharing and let Michelle share her slides. Thank you very much, Michelle, for joining, and take it away.
We're going to cover about, I don't know, it seems like 24 hours worth of content in about 40 minutes here. So we definitely wanted to touch on all the exciting aspects of some of the keynotes that happened, hit some of the main topics, encourage you to go out and watch them for yourselves. But we want to obviously start with the introduction of Autonomous AI Lakehouse and how that has really provided this open and interoperable platform. And as you can see, we're pulling together some of the best of both worlds, being able to use open table, Iceberg formats, plus Oracle Autonomous AI Lakehouse and Oracle Autonomous Database. And so when we're bringing these together, you'll see that we've already had in the Oracle database all the converged architecture with the different data types that we've been working with. Obviously, real-time data ingestion and analysis, plus that whole robust and secure enterprise level environment where we're being able to provide you this great performance in working with your data. And so these are those many capabilities that we've been working with Oracle Database, but we're also leveraging these newer technologies that are out there for data platforms and how we want to use some of these open source tools like Spark for these large scale data processing, and want to be able to use these formats such as Parquet and Arrow and be able to standardize that in a modern lakehouse environment. So what was introduced was actually accessing your data through in Iceberg format through Oracle databases. And so you don't have to choose what format or where your data is at. You can actually leverage the best of both worlds. And so this is where we have taken Autonomous AI Lakehouse, Autonomous Data Warehouse has become Oracle Autonomous AI Lakehouse, and looked using those existing features and then leveraging those with the Iceberg capabilities. And we did this because we saw this data platform changing, right? We looked at where we were kind of getting stuck in some data silos. And so there was this need to be able to transform that and being able to shift towards an architecture that was around openness and interoperability and being able to adapt these formats like Iceberg, as well as avoiding that vendor lock-in and eliminating these data silos. So as you can see, we've developed some tools that make this even easier to use. We have this capabilities of using a autonomous data catalog that is almost like a catalog of catalogs where you can pull in information from all your different data sources, and it provides this unified and seamless view of your entire data landscape. So if you're already using Glue or Databricks or other catalogs, you can integrate that and leverage those existing catalogs. And this catalog integration really allows you that plug and play SQL access, being able to use every table as part of that, and being able to even just query, for example, a schema from Databricks, or using database links to other tools and other data that you may have. This is not moving data across, it's actually linking the data where you can actually query that with your other enterprise data that you might have in Oracle databases, and leveraging that, no matter if it's in OCI, even on-prem in other vendor clouds, and being able to make that seamless and simple data access with the security and performance of the Oracle database. Let me try this real quick if I can.
In this demo, I'm going to show you how to search for and use all of your organization's data across different clouds and in different formats without complex integration using Autonomous Database. I work for a movie streaming service and I want to analyze my organization's customer data so I can target our top satisfied users, aged 18 to 25, for personalized promotions. I'll begin by navigating to the catalog from my Autonomous Database console. Here, I'll check for files in cloud storage. I see recent customer survey data from the marketing team. I'll simply select this data, and with a few clicks, I can immediately load or link it into the database so it's available for my analysis. Now I'll use AI to add a description of the newly loaded table so all future catalog users can easily understand what data it contains. Next, I'll connect to my data in AWS so I can search for even more customer data that's relevant to my analysis. It only takes 3 quick steps to set up the connection, and all my data from the AWS Glue catalog, including Iceberg tables, will be immediately available to query and use without any data movement. Now my AWS Glue data catalog appears in the list to explore. And you can also see that my company's data from Databricks was previously added to the catalog. As I look through my data in the AWS Glue catalog, I find user sessions data that tracks how long customers spend watching movies on the streaming service. And on Databricks, I find some demographic data. All the data I'm browsing in the Autonomous Database catalog is immediately available to query from SQL. I can easily ask the database which catalogs are available and which tables they contain, including Iceberg tables. Now I can see that my data from Databricks, AWS Glue, and the customer survey data from OCI Cloud Storage are all available to me to query. And instead of complex integration, I can run a SQL query that combines the data from all my sources with my sales data located in Autonomous Database. And that's it. My analysis shows my top customers, ages 18 to 25, who have the highest watch times, and I've rated 8 out of 10 or higher in the survey. Autonomous Database makes it easy to access all your data without complex data integration.
There we go. So it is that easy, right? And if you started to see that, we're going to talk about in a minute, Select AI and how you can actually use that with being able to just ask your data. So being able to combine those all in one query and use that using the Autonomous AI Lakehouse and the Autonomous Database Catalog. And of course, now as you're linking all this information, you're probably wondering about performance and how we're handling that. We're not moving the data to be able to use that, but we have what's called an Oracle Data Lake Accelerator. And this is really helping that fast performance over this large volumes of Iceberg data that might be sitting in object storage and different places. And so what you're able to do is really be able to use the Data Lake Accelerator to spin up multiple query servers and being able to scan through terabytes and petabytes of data and being able to scale out across this. So this is a serverless architecture that's providing you ways to run your queries faster. And there's more details on this. If you start to look at some of the performance, 5 times faster performance that we're seeing, and being able to query this data. So again, there's more information that's coming out. Keith has it as one of the blogs. I have to keep going, otherwise we're going to miss out on some of the details that we still have to cover. So as we've been talking about it, and Marcus even showed those first 26 AI database information. We've been talking about how we have JSON relational duality views. We have vector search built into the database. We have our property graphs that you can query your data with that, as well as Select AI, where you can just use natural language and now even use agents against that. And when you use that on top of Iceberg tables, you can query your data in the same ways without moving it. So if you need a graph query against your Iceberg, you can leverage that with Autonomous database and being able to use that, or see it as JSON. And so all that converged, as well as the security, is built on top, being able to access your data in different places. So where we're able to run this AI and analytics on all your data without the vendor lock-in. The main part of the keynote was obviously talking about open and interoperable, open by design, to be able to access these different formats. You're able to run it everywhere in different clouds. And this lake house without compromises, being able to leverage the performance and reliability and trust of Oracle databases and extending that into your different architectures. And then, of course, you're bringing then your AI to your data, where you can operationalize AI insights on existing data that you have in your enterprises. And it has the built-in AI capabilities with analytics and security. As part of this, there was also, you'll start to hear as you go out and listen to some of the keynotes that were talked about, AI Data Platform is a unified lakehouse on OCI, which is combining open source engines like Spark and leveraging Autonomous AI Lakehouse on OCI. And so this all works together for your data to bring it together. And then, of course, with Autonomous AI Lakehouse, that brings in opportunities from other clouds with AWS, Google, and Azure, and extends that even to use Oracle and Iceberg together. Now, that was one of the keynotes. That was a lot, pretty quick, condensing it down. But another one, again, brought into perspective that multi-cloud environment, being able to use this data in different places. Once again, leveraging the Oracle AI database with all the different capabilities that have been built in with JSON and graph and AI vector search, being able to use that in these multi-model modes. And when you look at it for your cost and your performance of your analytic workloads, and being able to leverage this and how you're using the Oracle database across these different cloud environments. And so you can really choose where you want to have it. You can obviously do that in OCI and across the other clouds, Azure, Google, AWS, or even dedicated cloud at customer. You'll start to see in even the different cloud environments that it's a very easy way to create an autonomous database, either using a console that you're used to doing and being able to spin that up. And you can also automate and simplify this environment where you can have several databases running in different clouds with the performance of autonomous database. hopefully, even with the catalog, you started to see that reduce of complexity, right? You have easy access to the data without having to, with zero ETL, with being able to access that data across the different clouds. And so this is really trying to reduce that complexity of knowing that you have different sources of your data and being able to use that. And there's more details on this. I think we even have some additional demos besides the one that I just showed you on the Autonomous Database Catalog, and being able to look at that and try it out in one of the Livelabs that we have. And as we get into it, when we actually load data, there's different AI enhanced loading that's part of that. Being able to do personal identifiable information detection, letting you know where you have sensitive data. There's sentiment analysis that analyzes the customer data that's out there, and maybe even some key phrase extraction, making it easier, not just another process of either loading the data or linking the data, but providing you additional insights to what that data is and how it's being used. So this keynote from George was actually talking about how this is bringing clarity instead of some of that data chaos, maybe getting rid of some of those data silos, but being able to simply fully manage the platform using an autonomous AI database and having it available in the places where you need it to be, and integrating with all your data, right? With the catalog, being able to see that and use that with your enterprise applications. And of course, it being AI world, we're bringing AI to your data to be able to leverage that. Now, I already mentioned briefly Select AI, and we're going to get into some of the other specific Select AI announcements along with agents that we've built in. But actually, even since 19C, we have an autonomous AI database, Select AI, where you can use it to ask natural language questions of your data and get information. And as we connect to Iceberg files or as we connect to different formats, we can also leverage that with Select AI. There's also a talk about security when you start to do this. As you start to let AI look at your data and use your data, we want to make sure that we're also securing it. Oracle has this history of making sure that data is secure, being able to leverage the security that's part of the database to do that. You already have control access to sensitive data, how we're actually looking at that with roles and privileges and who can access what in the database. All of this still exists when you're bringing AI to your data and using it in these ways to work with your database. In an autonomous AI database, we have a database vault, virtual private databases, of course, the roles and privileges that are all part of that. And then with 26 AI, we have the SQL firewall that also helps from SQL injections and using some of these tools in the same ways that we've had with our regular enterprise data, also leveraging it for when we're using it with AI. And so when we have these permissions set at the database level, we are able to actually only allow our AI agents or our natural language queries access the data in the way that the user is coming in. So if I'm asking queries through GenAI or agents and I'm connecting to the database, I want it to be able to use that information in a way. Now, this is only part of the scenario, but I'm asking the question, and instead of the agent going out, well, I'll just change your permissions and give you access to where you need it, because the agent only has select permissions and because the user only has select permissions on the database, it won't allow it to access that data and provide it. It will actually give you the data that you're allowed to see and allowed to access. So all those same controls that we had on that data are part of that as well. So you can use that at these different layers. And you'll start to see that there's tools that are built in with Autonomous, with Oracle Data Safe, that are important for user assessment, as well as that auditing of activity and the sensitive data discovery that's there. That is a tool that is built in. All right. That was probably about 4 different keynotes all tied into into one area. So all those different links that we were talking about with Keith and having all those set up, that is where we're trying to get to, and have you understand all these great announcements that are out there. And Marcus, are you going to join me for this information here on this next slide?
Yeah, you can continue. Yeah, you can continue, and I can comment. I can add comments for sure.
All right. Well, we'll keep going, and Marcus, you can definitely chime in as we're going on. We've talked about some of the HOLs that we had available, and this was one area where we have a couple of different applications. If you want to see this and try this with Select AI, creating a database chat app. You can do that. There are links to the HOLs that will allow you to do the Livelabs that are out there to be able to do that. You can also download the app. It's in a GitHub repo, that you can actually go and start to explore this on your own. You can use many different language models, and I think I have a slide that actually does that. But what you're actually doing is using Select AI with your natural language that's giving you and writing the SQL on the back end and giving you those answers, and helping you walk through these different examples. Being able to do this with your enterprise data, you are able to then leverage that for retrieval augmented generation of the responses, knowing what your data is, what your enterprise data, almost teaching it to speak your company's language, and all these SQL functions that apply to your AI data, right? We can actually use that with our private business data to get answers and get responses back from that, and generating different emails to help us out, generating different information based on our data, responses to customers, or in different ways of looking at it. And just like we talked about having all this in different places, we have different models that we can use. There are several that are available in OCI with GenAI. You have these large range of different large language model providers that you can leverage, basically being able to use something that works for your business. All these large language models are changing very rapidly. You can also train different models that might work for your data, but there are some that you can go out and try and start to look at. And what Select AI actually does, there's really a little bit of configuration with a credential to one of the large language models or an OCI GenAI service or another API for your large language model. So you set up this credential to be able to use it. And then you have profiles, again, giving you a layer around your data to protect that of how you're using it, setting up security so your finance profile won't cross over into your HR profile, or your users would have certain profiles to be able to access and combine the data that they're allowed to see and to use those across the different environments. So this starts to help access all this different data that is in Iceberg, is in different clouds, maybe in your different environments where you saw where we had query against Databricks or against a Glue catalog. You can actually use this on top of all this data with generating large natural language queries, having your security around it, and being able to get answers from the data that is out there.
Right. And I think a great and important question that we got at Cloud World, right? Many customers actually using, e-business suite, right? PeopleSoft, they came in asking us about that. And that's exactly what the sidecar here is solving, right? That exact problem is when you have an application that it might be old or might be, even outside the cloud or a different data source, a place where you got data stuck there, right? That you can modernize it, right? And bring that select AI capability on top of it.
Absolutely. And remember, Marcus, we also asked the room about things that they actual use cases that they could start to think of with Select AI, with being able to use natural language or being able to develop different solutions with their existing enterprise data. And we did get some good responses on that as well. We did give them a cheat sheet, though.
Yes.
But what was great about the sessions when you start talking about this, and hopefully everyone on the call is starting to think about this, how am I using AI with my data? How is this going to help? How are we going to be able to leverage all these different data sources in different places? Maybe bring this together to get valuable answers for the business. And so we did give everyone sort of a cheat sheet to be able to think of things, but there's even more use cases that we can't even think of. And so, using as you're going through some of the materials and some of these learnings from AI world, and as you start to see more of this come out, in Livelabs and in different sessions that we'll have, but start to think about how is this practical for your use case. We already talked about customer email generations, making it simpler to respond, more, not necessarily in a non-personal way, but making it more automated, so you can spend time getting to the real questions and things that you may need with your customers and real answers, being able to help them find things a lot faster. So there's more of those questions that you might be able to get to drill in and solve other problems that come up. And so a lot of this is helping you to do things a little bit more automated, a little bit faster, being able to pull all this data from these different sources and bring it in together to actually help you solve some of these problems where you may have been able to do a query over there, pull it over there, bring it in over, and it obviously takes time in doing that. So start to think about some of the things that you can do with Select AI, download the app to be able to spin that up with an autonomous database. You can actually do this in a free tier environment and try it out and see what you think and start to think about all of these great tools that are available to you with Autonomous AI database. Now, we also introduced Select AI agents, and I think, Marcus, you want to take some of this?
Yeah, I think, yeah, Ken, it's the idea for us, right, is working with Select AI, and everyone is talking about agents nowadays, right? So the idea is that we were able to create a new package. That package is available today, okay? So if you go into Autonomous today, you can actually just start running this. We have some examples posted as well, but you can go in and work with it. The idea is that the agent is a little smarter than just your general, your generic AI prompt, right? So the agent actually uses what we call a React agentic pattern, and it actually allows you to do some reasoning. So you give it tasks, you give it different tools that it can use, and it's, you can actually build an agent that actually, it's a specialized agent for a task, right? So it will interact with the LLM, but then it will come back and then it's able or capable of starting other requests and tasks using different tools. So one of those tools is going to be the usage of that LLM to answer something, but the other things could be easily starting a process, right? Looking at a camera, so you can actually make these agents interact with the external world and with the environment, right, and with different APIs. So that's basically what we added there. So we have an in-database capability, right? So that's you're going to find in Autonomous Database only for now, but that's the Select AI agent. That's the new component. And so you are going to be able to ask it, right? It's going to have minimal tasks that you can define, and then each task can define separate tools, right, that you can use and make it execute those, and then get the response back to the user or interact with the user as well, right? So it is very exciting. We have several usages of that, and actually, what I'm going to show later is something we built on top of the AI agents, right? The Select AI agents as well. But there's a lot of great things. We are working on getting the hands-on lab as well, right? Ready. We used that hands-on lab in person there at the AI World. It was full house, of course. But then we're working on getting that lab available to you guys as well. So, and actually, my intention is to get that session shown, right, and presented at the one of the future sessions we're going to have with the Autonomous AI Database Learning Lounges. Okay.
Which is great. And even, Marcus, what we've been talked about and had questions about, and what I briefly showed with that natural language query was also an agent that might take it the next step. And so making sure that security is in place so the agent can only act on the areas where it is allowed to, right? So that it has the right level of permissions, either through the roles that you're giving it, the profiles. There were questions on the data itself, if it's all the tables, but the profile is actually set up to be a specific tables that you can go after or schemas that you're interested in including. So you're limiting what access to that data is, but also making it easier for the agents to react in a way based on that area of data or that profile grouping of data that is there. So those were also key areas that we sort of tied throughout the whole sessions, right? As we worked through that and talked about it, knowing that it's going after different information, what's coming back, what can it actually then act upon in these workflows when you start to use the Select AI agent. So that is the end of my slides, unless you wanted to go in and show the data science demo.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great. That's where I was going with the couple slides that I had. But if it's, do you have it available with sound? Then
right
we can
here, and the sound was working, so I'm assuming we're good to go.
Okay. So right before, so the idea here, right before Michelle starts, is we and this is part of the future, right? So roadmap, it's coming in the next few months. We created something called a data science agent that is using the Select AI agent capability behind the scenes, but it's a UI that was created for interacting with your data and basically trying to create, in this case, trying to get a campaign, right, a marketing campaign done the way that you would normally require a data scientist or a machine learning specialist, right? So yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
Welcome to the Data Science Agent, your AI assistant within Oracle Autonomous AI Database, powered by Select AI. It helps you seamlessly search across data catalogs, prepare and explore data interactively, uncover key insights, and transform them into actionable results, all without writing a single line of code. Let's create a new conversation and title it Marketing Campaign. We're stepping into the role of a data analyst at a bank. Our goal is to launch a new campaign for promoting term deposits. But first, what data do we have? The agent searches across catalogs and finds the most relevant data sets: clients, past outcomes, contact details, and new prospects from sales. Let's take a look at our clients. The agent analyzes each attribute and provides snapshots on age distribution, job categories, marital status, and more, giving you key insights on your customers at a glance. We can now focus on our business objective, finding the best customers to target for our new campaign. This is where an agent really shines. It translates our simple request into a complete, actionable workflow, from preparing data to scoring clients. Let's start with data preparation. The agent joins relevant tables from different catalogs into a unified view and engineers new features from timestamps like contact day and month. The agent provides the underlying SQL code for transparency, along with a visual diagram to trace lineage, so expert users can validate every step. The agent guides us to explore customer behavior, revealing key drivers of subscriptions like seasonality and financial stability, showing that clients with higher balances and no housing loans are more likely to subscribe. But this is only the start. Customer behavior can be based upon the interplay of many factors, so we turn to more sophisticated machine learning models to predict outcomes. In this case, a random forest delivers the strongest results, reaching more than 90% accuracy. Finally, a model is only valuable if we can act on it. With the model ready, the agent scores our list of prospects and ranks the clients most likely to subscribe. This gives the marketing team a clear focus, directing efforts where they'll have the greatest impact. Ultimately, the data science agent provides completely new ways to interact with your data. A simple, natural language interface that manages end-to-end workloads running entirely within a secure, autonomous AI database environment.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
this is, hopefully everyone is just as excited as they were at AI World about these new ways of working with your data. I know Keith already showed this picture, but we really had some great conversations even at the demo booth, asking about how they're working with autonomous AI database already, and different ways to use that to work with your data, providing these valuable insights to your data. So I'll stop sharing, Marcus, and that was what I had to share.
Excellent. All right. So I'll share myself here. One last comment on the Select AI. So basically, these are the things we launched and announced there. So AI agents, we have new summarize capabilities as well. We have new translate capabilities in Select AI. And then we have feedback as well. So you can actually interact and tell the system if you don't like the result, right? And then it actually is able to accumulate and grab that feedback and store it, right, for usage later. And then so there's a lot of more things that you can do there. Customizable conversations. Select AI is now also available for Python. So we have that capability. In RAG, we added more than 150 different types of file types, right, that we are now at for RAG. And on AI providers, we added a few more, like AWS Bedrock and things like that. And private endpoint AI models as well, right? And on the machine learning side, we added some of the capabilities on the vector side, right? So all of those vector capabilities, we added those as predictors and targets as well. For SQL, we have new multimodal transformers as well, and for in-database Onyx, right? And the OML for Pi, we added a lot of new stuff, vector types as well, and AutoML pipeline that is advanced in Python, and then bring your own model capabilities as well. So we enhanced a lot of there. And the two last things are very important as well for machine learning models, right? The data bias detector, that's the one that we are adding and trying to, we have it already running on the OML service, right, as APIs. And then the data science agent, that's the new UI that you guys saw that we're going to launch soon in the next few months, okay? All right, so I think, it was a great session. We had a lot of questions. We still have a few open questions. So I, again, thank you guys. for joining us. I'll leave these open. And one poll that I wanted to check with you guys is, how you guys felt about the session today. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Let's take a look at a few of the questions that are still open here. If we can add things here. Demo on the Select AI agents. Someone was asking if we can see those demos. Yeah, so there is actually in the Oracle Machine Learning in GitHub, they have posted, there's a new folder there that's called Select AI, and we have a notebook. So we have an entire Oracle Machine Learning notebook that runs on Autonomous Database and have examples on how to use the agent, so on a full interaction setup from it. So I'm going to make sure that I link that with the recording of this session, right? That you guys are going to be able to see and have access to it, okay? Sample to provide custom tools to the LLM. Yeah, so that's one of the things we have, as I mentioned, in that same, example, right? We have the notebook, we have examples creating those different tools and tasks, and then going through that in the agent. So again, I'm going to link that with this recording to that example, okay? If we can handle anomaly detection or data drift, I imagine we're talking about the machine learning side. So yeah, so in the Oracle machine learning that runs inside Autonomous Database, so in that UI, we actually have a data monitor and a model monitor that can actually do that monitoring of these machine learning algorithms over time to detect any drifts and things like that. And then there are other specialized algorithms for anomaly detection, including support vector machines and others that do that specific task as well. So those are available for Autonomous Database. I'll make sure again to link that information in with the recording. Okay. And then last question here: are notebooks and GPU usage available on other hyperscalers? That's a good question, Antonio. I've seen it before. I mean, other hyperscalers like Google have some, access to GPUs or TPUs on their case as well for notebooks, right? And then we allow you to use GPUs if you are using an Autonomous Database with 16 eCPUs or more, right? Then we allow you to run and select GPU on your notebook, and then as long as you're, configuring, right, and starting up the your Conda environment, right, with that available, you should be able to use GPUs for that. Okay. All right. I don't see any other open questions, guys. So again, just resending the links for the things that we talked about today, right? So the Autonomous Database links, and plus the announcement, right, of the press release for the database and the Lakehouse. Okay. So if you go and take a look in chat, you're going to see that. Okay. And then let's see. So I think that's it. I see other questions, guys. I'm going to be writing those answers to you guys separately as well. So final thoughts, always remember to come back to this site. So oracle.com/go/adb-learning-lounge. And you're going to be able to see the links that I'm talking about today, links to the replays, right, where you're going to see a recording of this session. And then you're going to be able to see upcoming sessions as well. Okay, so keep an eye on the upcoming sessions. We got a lot of great things coming up to you guys. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with just some quick music here, but you can still type your questions, and I see Michelle is answering one of the questions. So feel free to type your questions still, okay? And I will be sharing with you guys just a quick farewell video here, but I'll be listening in, okay? Thank you very much again, guys, for joining, and thank you, Michelle.